listening to the Common Constitutionalist, broadcasting from an undisclosed location, free from the prying eyes of establishment-backed helicopters.
Okay, so I was going to talk about, I was going to talk about a number of topics, and I might get to one or two of them, I don't know. But this thing has got me so irked, I can't even see straight. As a matter of fact, I was so angry I almost ran off the road when my son and I were, we were going to do some errands and whatnot. And I was actually listening to a replay on the radio of a Rush Limbaugh show, I guess just prior to Christmas, when he left for Christmas break. And he was talking about the great Republican repeal and replace of Obamacare, and how Trump is going to hold them to account and all this other happy crap. And I'm driving along and I'm just getting angrier and angrier at this thing, and I'm just popping off left and right of everything he had to say on the radio. I couldn't believe my ears. So basically, what I'm going to do here is I've got an article from Fox News from just a couple of days ago, and I'm going to go through it. And the absurdity of this whole situation is staggering, stunning, and it's deja vu all over again. I'll explain that in a bit. So here you go, Fox News. Congressional Republicans aim to deposit the repeal bill, as in Obamacare repeal bill, on President-elect Trump's desk by the first big congressional break in mid-February. The replacement part? ? We have 6 months to replace it, argued Representative Chris Collins, Republican of New York, after the Pence huddle. Mike Pence went up to Capitol Hill. At the same time, Obama went to Capitol Hill to huddle with the Democrats to try and save Obamacare. And Mike Pence went to the crowd of Republicans, to repeal and replace Obamacare. I'll get to that in a minute, too. So, again, I'll say it again. Quote, we have 6 months to replace it, unquote, argued Representative Chris Collins, Republican of New York, after the Pence huddle. Although that's not settled. Well, here you go. And here we go. And this is the thing that starts getting me off here. We go to the mat for these guys. We vote for them. We vote en masse for Republicans all across the land. We give them the presidency now. We've given them the Congress, and we've given them control of the Senate, and everything's good, and that the replacement part of Obamacare is not settled, as in the time frame. They say, according to Fox News again, it could be a year. It could be a few years until Republicans require a replacement bill to come into effect, even as the GOP sung the repeal and replace mantra for years. This is like the dog chasing the car. If he ever catches the car, he doesn't know what the crap he's going to do with it. It's the same with the Republicans. I don't think they ever thought they'd ever get to this point, so they could just pop off and be and moan all they liked, and they had no accounting for it. They had no responsibility for their actions because they had no actions. They couldn't do anything. So they had free rein to piss and moan as much as they wanted. And now, because they asked us for it, we've given the authority, we've given the Republicans carte blanche authority to actually do something, and now we're expecting some results. So, quote, we do it in a transition that doesn't pull out the rug from anybody, says House Speaker Paul Ryan, Republican of Wisconsin. Pull out the rug from anybody. You know how many millions of people are having the rug pulled out from them? As we speak right now, people are losing health insurance. You know why? Because they can't afford it, because they make too much to be subsidized, and a lot of these people are paying more for their health insurance. And again, it's just insurance. It ain't health coverage. It's just health insurance. They're paying more for that than they are for their car payment and or their mortgage, sometimes combined. And so the Republicans in the House and the Senate, they think they can dither and dick around for a year or maybe a few years. Now, why are they doing this? Is it because they can't make up their mind what they want to do? Well, yes and no. They're playing politics, same as the freaking Democrats play politics. They play politics with everything. What they're trying to do is what at least some of the psychology of this is that they're looking to 2018 already. They're putting the cart before the horse. They haven't even really taken power completely yet. Trump isn't being sworn in until the 20th of this month, and they're already looking to 2018 to see maybe if we let it slide, if we just keep Obamacare, don't replace it, we can repeal it, but put it on the shelf. It's kind of like somebody getting engaged and never setting a date. And they just, that's unsettled. Okay, here's your ring. When are we getting married? I don't know. That's not settled. It may be a year. It may be a few years. The Republicans are looking for 2018, thinking that because they're in the catbird seat now, that they're going to pick up seats, more seats, and they'll have even more control. Well, we chumps keep falling for the same line of crap. You better bloody do something, and you better do it now. And Maryland Democrat Steny Hoyer said, where they have been is on a rhetorical binge, demagoguing a piece of legislation they don't have an alternative for. Well, I've got one, and they may have several alternatives, but they're spineless and they're afraid to reveal them. And just like Nancy Pelosi, you gotta pass the bill to see what's in it. You gotta pass the repeal to see what the replacement's gonna be. They don't have, if they have a clue, they're not saying, because they either don't have the courage to say, or they don't really know, or they can't get a consensus in the Congress to agree with the replacement bill. And you know what? This may this may end up taking a little longer than even I thought, because we're not even halfway through this bloody thing. So let's take a quick break. I'll be right back after the break, and we'll continue with the fun and frivolity.
You're listening to The Common Constitutionalist. Let the truth be known.
Okay, welcome back. More fun. Yay, fun. You go Republicans. Woohoo. All right, so just to recap here real quick, what Steny Hoyer said before I took the break here, where they have been, the Republicans, is on a rhetorical binge, demagoguing a piece of legislation they don't have an alternative for, unquote, said Maryland Democrat Steny Hoyer, okay? And Fox writes, any idea what the GOP plan might look like? Well, quote, they didn't give us any details, unquote, said Representative Mark Amodea, maybe, I don't know, Republican of Nevada, as he departed the Pence conclave. So they didn't give us any, they wouldn't even give the GOP themselves any details. I wonder why. You know why? Ain't got any details. Or if they do, they're afraid that the general public, the Democrats and the Democrats and the press won't like it, so they'll lambaste them about it. Well, guess what, Republicans? No matter what you do, you're going to get lambasted. So you might as well just do the right thing for doing the right thing. But it certainly, from what all, and this isn't CNN writing this. This is Fox News. This isn't MSNBC reporting fake news, or Huffington Post, or whoever. This is Fox News reporting this, and they've got their pulse on the Republican Party, so to speak. Or they've got the pulse of the they've got their pulse on the Republican. The heck, how do you do that? I don't know. Whatever. All right, let's continue. So, Representative Mark Amodea, whatever, Republican Nevada, as he departed the Pence conclave, said that they didn't give us any details. Okay. Fox writes, the Republican Study Committee, the largest bloc of Republicans in the House, unveiled a svelte replacement measure Wednesday. Representative Phil Rowe, Republican of Tennessee, bragged about the RSC plan is only about 180 pages and didn't take long at all to leaf through compared to Obamacare. We have a plan, bragged Rowe. So present it. Where is it? Present it. Why the secrecy? Why's the cloak and dagger crap? Why did the Representative Mark, whoever his name is, say they didn't give us any details if you said that there was a 180-page plan and that it was easy to go through, which means that you must have seen it, you must have felt it, and you must have read through it real quick. So what's the deal? Or did you just keep it in the Republican Study Committee and Mark, whoever his name is from Nevada, wasn't part of the study committee? Is that it? I don't know. And Fox News continues, as they write, of the plan that Representative Rowe bragged about. That's one. Others will come. Multiple replacement plans gurgled up over the years. Yes, they certainly did. But Republicans never advanced a replacement bill on the floor of either body because they couldn't coalesce around a bill which would pass. Okay. Well, I've got a real simple solution for that, but we'll get to that in a minute. It's quote, it's kind of hard to criticize an invisible plan, unquote, said Representative Bobby Scott, Democrat, Virginia. Okay, return the page. That's the ticket, baby. And the Fox News writes again, Trump's campaign manager Kellyanne Conway accompanied Pence to the Capitol for the meetings Wednesday, just this past Wednesday. She remained mum, mum's the word, baby, when reporters asked how Republicans will approach a replacement bill. However, Conway countered it was unprecedented for Democrats to pass a major entitlement program without Republican votes. What the crap does that have to do with anything? I mean, it's a great skirt of the question. It's an answer without answering the question, but it has what one doesn't have anything to do with the other. And Representative Joe Manchin, apparently he's becoming the reasonable voice in the Democrat Party, as if there's any reasonable voice. If he becomes too reasonable, trust me, he'll get slapped down so fast, it'll make your head spin. Chucky Schumer will take him out to the woodshed. Or somebody will, whatever. Okay, so he says that there's not one Democrat vote. Actually, he said Democratic, but I refuse to use that word for them. So there's not one Democrat vote to repeal. I'm not voting to repeal without a replacement. Manchin spoke of how West Virginians supported President-elect Trump, yet reaped Obamacare benefits. Yes, they did, because a lot of people in West Virginia are poor and destitute because Obama has made them that way. So they're capable of they're just been getting all sorts of subsidies, is what I'm trying to say, in a marble mouth way. All right, so we're a little we're a little farther along here. Let's take another quick break so you don't have to listen to me drone on for many a minute without getting without getting at least a temporary breather anyway. So we'll be right back.
You're listening to The Common Constitutionalist. Let the truth be known.
All right, so Manchin, he says that there wasn't one Democrat vote to repeal, and he wasn't going to vote for a repeal without a replacement. And West Virginia people, they supported Trump, but they also support Obamacare because they like the freebies, the bennies. He goes on to say, quote, "We had people who got subsidies and got insurance for the first time," beamed Manchin. But Manchin said Republicans were playing with fire if a replacement package strips people of health coverage. And I'll get to that also. They might not know, this is still a quote from Manchin. They, I assume the people who got the subsidies, who got the health insurance from the subsidies, they might not know how they got it, but they will know how they lost it. And Chucky Schumer, of course, had to chime in, and he said that it's a huge problem for Republicans if they forge ahead with the repeal and replace, because now they own it. And that's absolutely true. They do own it one way or the other. And again, This is uncharted territory. Well, it's not uncharted for them, but they've had bad experiences with accountability before. And so when somebody and Chuck Schumer knows this, he knows the buzzwords. He knows how to get them. And so when he says something like they own it, Republicans go hide under their desks collectively because they're scared little girly men, and they can't. They frankly, you know what? I'm convinced. As an aside here, I'm convinced fully that Republicans enjoy being the minority party because they don't like to be accountable for anything. They don't want to be responsible for anything. They like they like to be the party to piss and moan and complain about stuff, and always complain that they never have the authority to do anything, and they're comfortable with that because they don't want the authority, because as demonstrated now and in the past, the minute they get the authority, they don't know what to do with it, or they're scared to act on it. And Steny Hoyer said exactly that, or something along the lines, when he said, quote, "The Republicans have bitten off a very large piece of policy that I don't know they can chew, swallow, and get a result." And you know what? He's probably, I don't want to condemn the Republicans ahead of time, but they have a record of doing this. So, in lieu of anything else, you have to look at the historic record to be able to make a reasonable judgment how somebody's going to react. If you go to you follow a football team or something like that, and if you're familiar with football, if you're not, then I feel sorry for you. But at any rate, if you don't follow football, boo-hoo for you. Here's a football analogy. You're playing a team, or you are the team. Okay, so and your coach is highly predictable in what he does, and that's why you have a losing record more often than not, because the play calling's predictable. And so you get up to the line and you go first down, second down, and if it's third down and 5 or less, okay, third down and 5 yards to get a first down or less, you run the ball 100% or 95% of the time. Okay, you're predictable, so you know what's going to happen. And so that's all I'm saying is that predictably this is what Republicans do when they get authority. Okay, is they're scared to use it, they're scared to act on it, so they do the safe thing. They do what they think is going to be safe, what they think will please the most amount of people, instead of doing the right thing because it's the right thing, or the right thing because it's frankly the constitutional thing. But we're in a post-constitutional period anyway, so the heck with the Constitution. Who cares about that old document? So Fox News says that part of the challenge lies in the potential cost of repeal. This one baffles me to no end. Estimates vary widely on how much an Obamacare repeal would add to the deficit. It hinges on who you talk to and what metric they use. Various figures range anywhere from $350 billion to $1 trillion to $9 trillion over a longer period. What? The cost of repealing a law is going to cost $1 trillion or $9 trillion over. The cost of getting rid of a law is going to cost $1 trillion. How in heaven's name is that? I know how in heaven's name is that. Do you? Well, let me explain how that is. Because they're not just repealing it, they're replacing it with as big a behemoth as that, and they're going to actually layer on crap. They're not going to get rid of all of Obamacare. That's the master plan. They're going to leave the taxing and stuff behind, the fees and the taxes and stuff behind, so they have a lot of money to spend, so they can do the subsidy nonsense. They just won't. It's like what progressives do. All they do is if the general public doesn't like what they're looking at, or what they see or hear, or the policy, they just, the Democrats or the progressives, they don't change the policy, they just change the name and they call it something else and say they've changed the policy. It's the same thing here. If what I'm reading is it is anywhere close to being accurate, the Republicans aren't going to repeal Obamacare. Okay, they're going to say they're going to repeal Obamacare, but almost everything else is going to remain the same. People are still going to get subsidies. Others who can afford it are still going to get their butts taxed off. And you're not going to, and see, this is what I'm talking about, the repeal thing. They want to wait for 2 years until 2018, so maybe they can pick up some seats when everybody knows they're wonderful. Well, they're not wonderful. This thing's going to, they're going to fall on their face, and this thing's going to backfire big time. Because what's going to happen is that people are going to see the Republicans are going to announce that they've repealed Obamacare. So the people who are paying that, additional mortgage and car payment for their health insurance, just for the insurance, not to mention the $5, $6, $7, $10, $12,000, $20,000 deductibles for a family before you even get a chance to use the insurance. When they see that they are not going to get a break, that they're still going to get taxed up the butt, that their health insurance is still going to cost the same amount, or maybe, I don't know if it'd be a little less, but it probably won't be much less, but it's going to be about the same, and it's still going to be about the same deductibles, because the private sector isn't going to be running anything. It's going to be government health care anyway, where they're just going to call it something different. And you know what? I hope, as God is my witness, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm so dead wrong I can go on here. I'll go on whatever program. I don't care. I'll say it from the rooftops that I was wrong and the Republicans are wonderful. I want to be wrong on this, but I don't think I am. They're doing this same frickin' thing that they did in 2006 when they squandered their majorities in Congress. They had the Bush presidency. They had majorities. They peed it away, and we ended up with Nancy Pelosi because it was the Republicans' fault, because they taxed and spent us into oblivion, and this is how they're going to be repaid next time too. So if they're looking for 2018, they've got another freaking thing coming if they don't repeal and just get rid of this. Now, as far as the replacement is concerned, why in the blank do you need a daggum replacement? Did the insurance companies, did the people who used to sell health insurance in the private markets, did they just all of a sudden all get amnesia? Did they destroy all their old records and all their old programs? They don't know how to insure anybody unless it's up to the government? Is that what we're supposed to buy, this line of bullcrap? That unless the government replaces this, then there's no freaking replacement? What you do is you repeal everything. It's like Ted Cruz. He's the only honest one in this whole discussion. He said he would repeal every bloody word of every single word of Obamacare. That's what you got to do. You got to repeal it, and then you don't replace it. And you want to see how fast insurers will get into the market when they don't have to worry about regulation and rules and all this other crap. You can do a la carte stuff. You could do anything you like. Just get rid of the regulations. Like Trump said, you sell over state lines, you sell insurance anywhere you like. You put it on, you advertise it on TV instead of, you can save 15% on your Geico insurance. Oh, well, Aetna's got a plan, or Blue Cross has got a plan. You can save yourself 20% on your premiums if you go with Aetna health insurance. That's the way you do it. You do it with private, open, free markets. But this isn't what they're going to do, and this is why they're waiting, because they know darn well it's going to cost a fortune, because they're scared of their own shadows. I just this thing, it just makes me angry. We go to the mat for these people. They talk conservative, and like I said, I hope I'm wrong. I'll be the first one to say if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'll tell you, their track record stinks on ice. And everything indicates, everything I've read and seen and heard indicates that they're pulling the same crap. They're pulling the same backroom bull crap that they've always done, that they're afraid to tell us what they want to do because they don't want to do what they said they were going to do. The heck with the replacement. Just repeal it. Let the market come flooding back in. Get rid of all the bull crap regulations. Get rid of all the add-ons. And so if you're a single female or a single male in your 20s and you want to buy a la carte health insurance, that's what you can buy. Exactly what you want. And you'll pay a fraction of what you'd pay now, because you don't have to buy all this other crap. You can buy whatever you want and just whatever you want. It would be like a la carte cable, where you only have to buy the channels that you watch. That would be, I've always been an advocate for that too, but at any rate, and I hate to say that you know what, I got to side with the Democrats on this one, because, and again, if I'm wrong, like I said, I'll come back on here the first moment I know that I'm wrong, that they've repealed this thing and allowed the private market to take off, allowed companies to sell across state lines, get rid of all the packaging regulations, get rid of all the old other crap, and just allow people to go on the open market just like you would buy car insurance or motorcycle insurance or homeowners insurance or, whatever insurance, and sell it the exact same way and let the buyer decide. You people in government, you never give the American public their due. You always think that we're too stupid to buy health insurance. We're not too stupid to buy auto insurance. We can do that on our own. But and we can buy homeowners insurance on our own without being regulated to death. But we can't buy health insurance. For some reason, we're just too stupid. We don't know what we're buying. Okay, we're just too dang stupid. Well, how about you take the reins off of the American public for a little bit and let us give it a shot. Okay, let us open up the private markets and do it that way. But no, of course not. We can't repeal unless we have replacement. Screw your replacement. Excuse my language, but the heck with it. So I have droned on for darn close to a half an hour on this one topic, and I am finny. I've done enough damage. So anyway, this is the Common Constitutionalist signing off. And I hope so far you've had a Jim Dandy 2017, because it's going to be I don't know if it's going to be fun-filled, but boy, I'll tell you, it's going to be wall-to-wall excitement for the next, I don't even know, foreseeable future, even before Trump takes office. And then after Trump takes office, it's going to be Katie bar the door, brother. There ain't going to be no problem finding things to talk and write about. At any rate, this is the Common Constitutionalist signing off. I am out. See ya.
Thank you for listening to the Common Constitutionalist Weekly Podcast.